Here's the story of how Ryan Martin's shocking discovery at an Oklahoma track threatened to tear apart one of street racing's most legendary crews, and what it reveals about the high-stakes world where million-dollar cars and lifelong friendships collide. On January 14, 2026, Ryan Martin rolled up to the Oklahoma track expecting another routine day of testing his Fireball Camaro. What he found instead would shake the Street Outlaws family to its core and expose the darker side of a sport built on trust, loyalty, and brotherhood. Ryan Martin has been the face of Street Outlaws for years, known not just for his lightning-fast reflexes behind the wheel, but for the meticulous way he runs his operation. His trailer isn't just storage, it's mission control for a racing empire worth millions. Every tool has its place, every spare part gets cataloged, and every piece of sensitive information about his setup stays carefully guarded. In the world of no-prep racing, where the difference between winning and losing can come down to a single jet change or tire pressure adjustment, security isn't paranoia, it's survival. That's what made the discovery so devastating. Don't forget to like and subscribe. When Ryan approached his trailer that Tuesday morning, something immediately felt wrong. The lock looked normal, the exterior showed no signs of forced entry, but his racing instincts, honed by years of reading track conditions and opponent behavior, told him something was off. Inside the trailer, the scene was subtle but unmistakable to someone who knew every inch of his operation. Tools weren't quite where he'd left them. Someone had accessed computer files. Most alarming of all, his setup sheets, the closely guarded secrets that detailed everything from suspension adjustments to nitrous tuning, showed signs of being photographed or copied. But here's what made Ryan's blood run cold. Whoever had been in his trailer hadn't broken in. They had used a key. In the tight-knit world of Street Outlaws, only a handful of people had access to Ryan's trailer. These weren't casual acquaintances or distant crew members. These were people he trusted with his racing life, his business secrets, and his friendship. The realization hit him like a nitrous backfire. Someone in his inner circle had betrayed him. The implications were staggering. In street racing, information is currency. Knowing Ryan's exact setup could give a competitor the edge they needed to beat the Fireball Camaro. More than that, it could expose weaknesses that other racers could exploit, potentially costing Ryan not just races, but the sponsorship deals and appearance fees that keep a top-tier operation running. Ryan's mind raced through the possibilities. Who had keys? His core crew members, certainly. A few close friends in the racing community. Maybe someone from the production team who needed access for filming. Each name that came to mind felt like another twist of the knife. These weren't just racing associates. They were people he'd shared victories with. People who'd been in his corner during the toughest losses. The investigation that followed was as methodical as Ryan's approach to tuning. He started by reviewing security footage from the track, looking for any vehicles or people who shouldn't have been there. He checked his trailer's entry logs, cross-referenced timing with crew schedules, and began the uncomfortable process of questioning people he'd trusted completely. What emerged was a picture of betrayal that cut deeper than Ryan could have imagined. The evidence pointed towards someone who wasn't just stealing information casually. They had been systematically documenting his setups, his strategies, even his planned modifications for upcoming races. This wasn't a moment of weakness or opportunity. It was a calculated campaign of espionage. The confrontation, when it finally came, shattered years of carefully built relationships. In the Street Outlaws world, where reputation is everything and your word is your bond, being exposed as a traitor carries consequences that extend far beyond racing. The person responsible didn't just lose Ryan's trust, they lost their standing in the entire community. But the ripple effects went far beyond one broken friendship. The discovery forced everyone in the Street Outlaws circle to confront an uncomfortable truth about their sport. As street racing has evolved from underground meetings on abandoned airstrips to a multi-million-dollar entertainment empire, the stakes have grown exponentially. What used to be settled with handshake agreements and gentlemen's codes now involves corporate sponsorships, television contracts, and racing operations that rival professional NASCAR teams. Ryan's experience highlighted a fundamental tension in modern street racing. The sport's appeal has always been rooted in its outlaw culture, the idea that these are regular people with extraordinary cars bound together by mutual respect and shared passion. But when hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line, when a single win can change someone's financial future, that brotherhood faces tests it was never designed to handle. The timing of this betrayal was particularly cruel. Just as the Street Outlaws community was celebrating a historic milestone, the launch of the NHRA Outlaw Street series, internal conflicts were threatening to tear them apart. This new series, featuring Ryan Martin alongside legends like Sean Murder Nova Ellington and Scott Taylor, represents the first major crossover between street racing culture and sanctioned NHRA competition in a decade. The NHRA Outlaw Street Series isn't just another racing championship. It's validation for an entire community that has spent years proving their worth outside the traditional motorsports establishment. For racers like Ryan, it represents the culmination of everything they've worked toward, the chance to compete on the biggest stages while maintaining the authentic, no-bullshit attitude that made street racing special in the first place. These aren't your typical NHRA entries. The series features street-legal, big-tire vehicles that maintain the raw, aggressive aesthetic of outlaw racing, while meeting the safety and technical standards required for national event competition. It's a careful balance between honoring street racing's roots and embracing its professional future. Ryan's participation in this series makes the trailer incident even more significant. At a moment when he should be focused entirely on representing street racing culture on its biggest stage yet, he's instead dealing with the fallout from betrayal within his own ranks. The psychological impact of discovering that someone you trusted was working against you can't be overstated. It affects everything from how you prepare for races to who you're willing to share information with. The investigation revealed that the breach went deeper than initially suspected. Setup sheets weren't the only target. The intruder had also accessed financial information, sponsor communications, and even personal correspondence. It was a violation that went far beyond racing, cutting into every aspect of Ryan's professional and personal life. For the broader Street Outlaws community, Ryan's experience served as a wake-up call about security and trust in an evolving sport. Many racers began reassessing their own operational security, implementing new protocols for information sharing and access control. The days of leaving trailers unlocked and sharing setup secrets freely started giving way to a more guarded approach. But the most profound impact was on the relationships themselves. The betrayal forced everyone to question what they thought they knew about loyalty and friendship in high-stakes racing. How do you maintain the brotherhood and camaraderie that makes street racing special while protecting yourself from those who might exploit that trust? Ryan's response to the crisis revealed the character that has made him a leader in the sport. Rather than retreating into paranoia or abandoning the collaborative spirit that has driven street racing's success, he chose to use the experience as a learning opportunity. He implemented new security measures while maintaining his commitment to supporting other racers and sharing knowledge with those who proved themselves trustworthy. The resolution, when it came, was as decisive as Ryan's driving style. The person responsible faced consequences that extended throughout the racing community. A reminder that in a sport built on reputation, betrayal carries a price that extends far beyond the immediate incident. Looking back on the trailer discovery, it's clear that Ryan Martin's experience represents more than just a case of betrayal within a racing team. It's a reflection of the growing pains that come with success, the challenges of maintaining authenticity while pursuing professional opportunities, and the resilience required to navigate an industry where trust is both essential and fragile. The Street Outlaws family emerged from this crisis stronger and more aware of the forces that could potentially divide them. Ryan's handling of the situation reinforced his position as not just a talented driver, but a leader who could guide the community through its most challenging moments. As the NHRA Outlaw Street Series continues to showcase the best of street racing culture on the sport's biggest stages, Ryan Martin's experience serves as a reminder that success requires more than just speed and skill. It demands the wisdom to know who you can trust and the strength to handle betrayal when it inevitably comes. The trailer discovery that shocked the crew ultimately became a defining moment that strengthened the bonds between those who remained loyal while exposing the true character of those who didn't. In a sport where everything happens at 200 miles per hour, sometimes the most important lessons come from the moments when everything suddenly stops.